AI email customization, SEO-driven campaigns that convert in 2025. The 2025 inbox is brutal, and buyers are researching without you. In 2025, cold outreach competes with packed inboxes, stricter filtering, and buyers who are already deep into research before they ever talk to a rep. Most prospects don't discover vendors from an email anymore. They validate shortlists through Google and AI assistants first, then respond only when an outreach message matches what they're actively trying to solve. That's why relevance is no longer a nice-to-have, it's the entire game. AI is now mainstream in email, which means basic personalization no longer stands out. Recent benchmarks show 63% of marketers use AI in campaigns, and 87% of businesses adopting AI apply it to email marketing. So your prospects are already seeing AI-assisted messages daily. The winners are the teams using AI to be more precise, not louder. The practical shift. Instead of treating outbound as a guessing game, we build campaigns around search intent and verified account context. When your subject line mirrors the prospect's own research language and your first sentence connects to a real business problem, not trivia, your message stops feeling like another cold email and starts feeling like a continuation of their buyer journey. What AI email customization actually means and what it doesn't. AI email customization in B2B isn't a glorified mail merge. It's using AI to tailor the variable parts of a proven framework: opener, problem framing, proof point, and CTA, based on structured inputs like firmographics, role, tech stack, and intent signals. Done right, it produces short emails that read like a thoughtful SDR wrote them. Then the SDR spends 15 to 30 seconds tightening tone and checking claims. What it is not: letting AI freestyle generic emails at scale. That approach floods inboxes with sameness, increases spam risk, and wastes your best advantage: data that can make each message materially more relevant. The upside is real when personalization is anchored to business context. Companies using AI for email report up to a 41% improvement in click-through rates, and AI-enhanced subject lines can lift opens by 32 to 41%. Those numbers create a clear target. If your team is consistently under 2% replies, you likely have an ICP, deliverability, or messaging problem. If you're in the mid-single digits, you have a foundation. The goal of AI customization is to move you toward the top quartile by making every send look intentional, especially if you're a cold email agency, a sales development agency, or an internal SDR team trying to compete against crowded outreach. Why SEO and search intent are the best personalization data you already own. Persona-based outbound breaks down when your assumptions don't match what the market is actively researching. SEO fixes that because it reflects real demand. 81% of B2B buyers start their purchasing process with a search engine, and 66% rely on internet search results before purchasing. In other words, your buyers tell you what they care about before they ever see your email. This is the core of SEO-driven campaigns. We use keyword themes and high-performing pages to identify intent clusters, the problems people are trying to solve, then build outbound hooks that echo the same language. It's not keyword stuffing, it's alignment. When your opening line uses the prospect's phrasing, you reduce cognitive friction and the email feels relevant immediately. SEO also keeps your outbound honest. Instead of over-personalizing trivia, your outreach stays anchored to outcomes buyers actually search for: cost reduction, conversion lift, pipeline, hiring constraints, compliance, or speed. And because 77% of buyers expect personalized experiences, search intent is the fastest path to personalization that feels helpful rather than creepy. How to build an SEO to outbound intent map your SDRs can actually use. Start by exporting your top non-branded queries and the pages that already drive conversions, then grouping them into a small set of problem-focused clusters. In practice, most teams only need 5 to 10 clusters to cover the bulk of their pipeline potential. Think reduce cloud spend, hire SDRs faster, sales outsourcing, outbound sales agency, or B2B cold calling services. The goal is to stop brainstorming angles in a vacuum and instead let search behavior dictate what you lead with. Next, tie each cluster to a clear offer and a specific audience. A CFO-oriented cluster might point to an ROI calculator, while a RevOps cluster might point to a deliverability audit or a sequencing teardown. This step matters because it ensures your CTA fits the prospect's stage. If their searches indicate early research, book a demo can be too aggressive, but want the benchmark we're seeing in your space is often a better bridge. Finally, operationalize it so reps can run it without thinking. Each intent cluster should have a short set of approved claims, proof points, and landing pages, plus guardrails on tone and length. That's how you keep AI outputs consistent across an outsourced sales team, an SDR agency partner, or an internal pod, without letting personalization turn into inconsistent storytelling or unverified promises. When your subject line and first sentence mirror the buyer's own search language, your email stops feeling cold and starts feeling inevitable. Use AI for modular snippets, keep humans in the loop, and protect deliverability. The highest performing teams don't ask AI to write whole emails from scratch. They lock a tight structure, why them, why now, proof, next step, and let AI generate only the variables based on the intent cluster and account context. That approach gives you speed without sacrificing quality, and it prevents the same email with different names pattern that triggers spam filters and buyer skepticism. Human review is non-negotiable, but it shouldn't slow SDRs down. The right workflow is a quick scan for accuracy, tone, and specificity, especially around numbers, competitor mentions, and customer claims. Then, a light edit to sound like your brand. We've found that this 15 to 30-second step is where AI turns from risky automation into a reliable drafting co-pilot. Deliverability needs the same discipline. AI makes it easy to crank volume, but volume is useless if your domain reputation tanks. You'll end up sending hundreds of emails for minimal return. As a reminder of the baseline math, one dataset estimates it can take roughly 306 cold emails to generate one B2B lead. So improving relevance and list quality matters as much as copy, whether you're running list building services in-house or through a cold email agency. Common mistakes that quietly kill AI personalized outbound and how to fix them. The most common failure is letting AI generate generic emails at scale. It feels productive because activity goes up, but outcomes fall. Prospects see the same patterns, filters adapt, and your market learns to ignore you. The fix is simple. Constrain AI to approved hooks per intent cluster, require a business-relevant opener, and reject outputs that don't reference a real problem your ICP is actively researching. The second mistake is ignoring SEO and analytics when planning outbound. If you're investing in content, but your outreach doesn't reflect what's already driving qualified traffic, you're leaving money on the table. SEO data is especially valuable because 57% of B2B marketers say SEO generates more leads than any other initiative. So your best outbound angles are often hiding in your top queries and best converting pages. The third mistake is measuring vanity metrics. Opens are noisy, and high opens with low replies often mean your subject lines are clickbait while the body misses the mark. Focus your reporting on reply rate, positive reply rate, and meeting rate by hook and intent cluster. That's how you build a repeatable system that improves over time, Whether you're a B2B sales agency, running telemarketing and email together, or coordinating email with B2B cold calling. Optimization. Track performance by intent cluster and link to pages that continue the story. Once you're live, don't optimize by sequence name alone. Optimize by hook and intent cluster. Tag each sequence with the primary problem statement it's targeting, then review performance after a few thousand sends. You'll quickly see which phrases consistently create meetings and which angles generate polite replies that never convert. Your click path matters as much as your copy. Every email CTA should drive to an SEO-optimized landing page that continues the same narrative and uses the same language the prospect searched. If your email references a specific outcome, the page should back it up with proof, FAQs, and a fast path to book. That continuity is where reply to meeting and click to demo rates usually jump. Finally, treat AI as a learning engine, not just a writing engine. When a cluster wins, expand it. Publish more SEO content on adjacent queries. Test new proof points and let AI generate controlled variations inside the same framework. With generative AI, the business case is increasingly proven. 93% of CMOs report clear ROI, and 94% say it enhances personalization. So the differentiator becomes your process and data quality, not whether you have access to the tools. Next steps: a practical 90-day plan to launch or scale SEO-driven AI outbound. If you want a realistic path to results, think in a 90-day pilot. In month 1, build the intent map, define 5 to 10 clusters, clean your targeting, and connect each cluster to a landing page that matches the promise in the email. In month 2, launch controlled tests with volume caps and human review, then quickly prune weak angles rather than letting it run. In month 3, standardize what works into your SDR workflow so reps aren't copying and pasting between tools. The best setups generate suggested snippets inside the platform reps already use, so approving and sending stays fast. And because email rarely wins alone, align it with LinkedIn outreach services and, when your ICP responds well, B2B cold calling services that follow up on the same intent narrative, like a coordinated outbound sales agency would run. If internal bandwidth is thin, partnering can compress the learning curve. At SalesHive, we sit at the intersection of SEO-driven strategy, AI email customization, and real SDR execution. And we've built systems to support both email and cold calling services without sacrificing deliverability. If you're evaluating sales outsourcing, an SDR agency partner, or an outsourced sales team model, the right question isn't, can they send emails? It's whether they can operationalize intent, quality control, and measurement into something repeatable. And you can always validate specifics like SalesHive pricing and SalesHive reviews directly on saleshive.com.